the last decade, we witnessed two players making a great case on why they should be considered the GOATs of football. Cristiano and Messi smashed records after records across multiple competitions at both club and international level, and while they wrote history, they became history. But although the past may have already been written, the future awaits a new generation. And at the forefront of this new era is a young icon called Kylian Mbappé. Ever since he was a teenager, this man was destined for greatness. At just 17 years of age, Mbappé was a talisman that led Monaco to a surprising Ligue 1 title and to the Champions League semi-finals. By the end of that season, he was signed for 180 million euros, which is still a record fee for a teenage player. Fast forward 6 years, and Kylian has won multiple league titles, the World Cup, and became PSG's all-time top scorer. Although that's impressive, Mbappé will have to carry the burden of emerging right after the most iconic football player rivalry of all time. Now the question stands, can he surpass both Messi and Ronaldo? And ultimately, will Mbappé become the GOAT of football? Well, if you're gonna look at a side-by-side comparison in terms of stats, it's completely possible. At the young age of 24, Mbappé currently averages 0.7 goals and 1.06 goal contributions per match. Those numbers are clearly superior to Messi's and more than double of what Ronaldo achieved at the same age. Of course, you could argue that these numbers are inflated and are worth less because Mbappé has played his entire career in France, but if you look solely at his goals in the Champions League and with his national team, he's still in advantage, having scored 40 goals across both competitions. Once again, more than Messi and double that of Ronaldo. But if stats aren't your thing, look at his impact in his national team. He guided France to their second World Cup win in his debut at a major international tournament, and in his second participation with an injury-ridden French squad, he impressively took them all the way to the World Cup final, even netting an hat-trick in that same match. He's currently 4 goals away from being the World Cup's all-time top scorer, and unless something catastrophic happens, he'll probably conquer that record at just 27 years old. While Messi needed 5 attempts to win it once, and the best that Cristiano could achieve was a semi-final in 2006. I think that at international level, Mbappé is pretty much guaranteed to finish above the current GOAT's level. Besides, in multiple instances, especially in international matches, we've witnessed his leadership skills and they're second to none at his age. Given that he's committed to the team's goal, he'll take risks and lead the charge, inspiring his teammates to do the same. Once again, you could argue that Cristiano is a great leader as well, but I didn't see him pushing his team the way Mbappé did when he was only 18. On the other hand, there are several irrefutable arguments that you can make on why Mbappé will most likely fall short at becoming the GOAT of football. And the first that comes to my mind is his bad career planning. Mbappé clearly thrives under pressure, he's a clutch player that always shines in big matches, and staying in Ligue 1 for so many years has definitely hindered his development. Had he initially moved to the Premier League or to La Liga, and who knows the heights he could have reached already. But the fact of the matter is that since he burst onto the scene, Kylian has always followed the money. As a consequence, he's now one of the most expensive players in the world in a club that doesn't need to sell their stars. Even Real Madrid would struggle to buy him nowadays, and if he can't settle his issues with PSG, he might be forced to either stay out of action for a year or move to Saudi Arabia. If he does move, let's hope the contract isn't longer than a year, otherwise he'll be joining another millionaire side, but this time without even a chance to win the Champions League. Of course, his stats are still higher than Messi and Ronaldo and would probably continue to be if he stopped for a year, but momentum is everything. Cristiano had his prime in his late 20s and early 30s and truly cemented himself as a GOAT candidate in his time in Madrid. But without some successful formative years boosted by the competition of his eternal rival, I don't think he would have reached that level. On the other side, we got Messi, who you could say reached his prime at 25, but those years playing alongside teammates who seemed to be handmade in heaven for him gave him the confidence and comfort to develop into the leader that he proved himself to be over the years. If he stops now or has to downgrade to a weaker side, will he bounce back? Ronaldo was also at Mbappe's level before injuring his knee and then never returned to his heights. Either way, that's a lot of what ifs, so to conclude my argument, I'll give you a fact. The rivalry Messi and Ronaldo had was the main reason the two players reached astonishing heights in their careers, and it was primarily fueled by their close competition. They were playing the same league in opposing sides of perhaps the biggest club rivalry in football. The two stars were competing against each other in the league, in the domestic cups, in the Champions League, and ultimately in the World Cup. Given Mbappe's most likely career direction, he'll never find someone to constantly push him to another level. You can make a case for Erling Haaland, but he's not even in the same league and will most likely stay away from Kylian in the near future, as a French superstar will probably stay in France or move to Spain, while Haaland has every reason to continue playing in the Etihad. Plus, Norway vs France doesn't seem like a natural rivalry due to the sheer quality difference between the two sides. Unlike Portugal vs Argentina, we're always at more or less the same level, despite one having a much richer history than the other. In the end, everything is possible. If you went 20 years back in time and told anyone that there would be two players that would take the Ballon d'Or hostage for 10 years, nobody would believe you, since there was only one player who had won the Ballon d'Or twice in the prize history. Besides, the world is evolving at a rapid pace. Everything that you can do with technology nowadays was unachievable in the last decade. That makes a difference, and perhaps Mbappe could reach that level fueled by training technology that the ones before him didn't possess. In my opinion, I just don't think he will. Messi and Ronaldo's feats are still too recent, and even if Kylian is able to be consistent enough to match them, he'll never be the first to break the ceiling. It would take having Ronaldo's longevity, mentality and impact in the Champions League, combined with Messi's brilliance, vision and consistency in league competitions to ultimately beat them. In my eyes, that's still just a dream. But what do you think? Can Mbappe become the GOAT of football? Leave your opinion in the comments and let's start the discussion. If you like this type of content, make sure to leave a like, as it really helps pushing this video to more people, and of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another interesting football video. Thanks for watching until the end, I appreciate you, and I will see you soon.